Hello and welcome back. I am Omrak. This is the first game from my Platinum group in the 6th season of the Intermezzo Championship. This season was a lot of fun for me. There were some really interesting matches, and I don't want to spoil it, but I did pretty well overall. You can subscribe to get notified when each championship game is released on the channel, and I really appreciate the likes and the subscriptions. They mean a lot to me, so thank you for those. Now let's take a look at who's in the match. And with the first match finished, we can take a look at the results. This is the Intermezzo Championship, and it's all being tracked on the CGE website now in their tournament system. So there's 235 players, and we are in Group 5 out of 47. And in the Platinum 2 group, these are the 5 players that will be playing the 6 matches. BlixLT, us, Almeric, Tecusto 2, Ricicle, and Liren Klaus. So me, Tecusto 2, Liren Klaus, and BlixLT are basically all in the top 40 of the ratings that PlayTTA calculates based on all of these tournaments. And Ricicle is 75th. So they're all top players competing in, I think, the 3rd from the top group. So the matches are very exciting. The first match is between BlixLT, myself, and Ricicle. So let's jump into that match and see how it goes. And so red takes Stonehenge, and we are in the 2nd spot. So what do we do here? So we could do Homer and Acropolis. We do Richland. Or we can do Ashoka. Probably not Richland. I think I might go Homer Acropolis here. And, you know, we'll just see how that goes. Yeah, let's try it. The blue takes Rich Land and Frugality. And red builds bronze, increases population, takes Ashoka and Rich Land. Now it's our turn. We have Homer and Acropolis. So we can build a bronze. Elect Homer. Well, let's see. Increase population, take urban growth, and then elect Homer or take Frugality. Frugality is not that helpful, and we'd probably rather spend our civil action on something else later. So we will go with this. And pretty straightforward turn. And blue elects Hammurabi, builds a bronze, increases pop, takes Frugality. And red reveals development of civil life, elects Ashoka, takes Barbarossa and iron. Okay. Our turn with Homer. We do not have an event to play. So lots of things we'd like to have here. Alchemy, Monarchy, Swordsman. Swordsman would be nice with Homer here. And we have a tactic that can use them. Alchemy is always good to get early. And Monarchy will be good to have with Acropolis. But we could always grab a later one as well. Taking monarchy away from Hammurabi could be good. And assuming we want to get to a monarchy eventually, maybe we invest here in taking it away from Hammurabi. So we can raise pop, build a lab with our card, our urban growth. And then do something. Monarchy and alchemy, perhaps. Printing press could be interesting with Acropolis and Shakespeare and Darwin. We have to... Yeah, we'd have to get the population for it, which could be tricky. We can just do that and skip all this. Yeah. Do we want to let swordsmen go to red? Yeah. So instead of raising population, we could also build a lab. And then not increase population here. Red doesn't have a population. Blue does, but is more likely to not have an event here. So maybe we're okay without a population. We can maybe take that. Then the urban growth can go to the alchemy. Take monarchy away from Hammurabi. We want to have it anyway. Pretty soon. And the only thing we're not getting here is swordsman. Instead of monarchy, we could do swordsman. Yeah, that's interesting. Swordsman or monarchy here. I'll probably take monarchy. So we can get into the alchemy next turn. We can get to monarchy pretty soon. It's going to be harder to use Homer's resource, but that's just something we'll have to deal with. I mean, there's another printing press out here, I suppose. So they're both right there. If we wanted to try to do something with that, we probably don't want alchemy at that point. So then I suppose we could increase population, cost us of food, do cultural heritage. Now we have nothing to do with our hands full. We have nothing to do. So that's bad. Yep, we're just going to go with alchemy, breakthrough, monarchy here. It's going to be harder to leverage Homer resource, like I said. Alchemy, we may not get as many urban buildings for Acropolis for this monarchy. I mean, it'd be great to get swordsmen for Homer. Getting printing press in would be pretty great also. And I think we could, spend our resources to finish Acropolis, build a third alchemy, then get to monarchy. I'm sorry, third philosophy instead of getting into alchemy. Like, I don't hate that either. but you know, there's just not a good way to make it happen here. Like you could take these three. I'm sorry. We could do this in monarchy, I guess. And I just showed this. There's not a lot we can do here. We could increase pop. Well, we can't actually do that. If we get some resources, we can finish Acropolis. But we wouldn't really be able to do anything here that's bad. So we could take Swordsman. And then, I mean, this is like along the right lines. But then we're just going to keep an eye out for the next monarchy. And then blue gets this monarchy, which is bad. Okay, so I think what I am going to do here, I'm going to split the difference a little bit. I'm going to go back, use this to increase population. I'm not going to build this lab now. I'm going to take this printing press out here. So I'm not going to get this second philosophy. I'm going to take these two science cards and I'm going to take monarchy. So we won't use Homer's resource. I think monarchy is important. I don't want to give it to blue. There's another swordsman we will try to get. Might be too late for Homer's resource at that point, but I think I'm going to go with this. We'll see. Hopefully we get this printing press. There's lots of reasons to want it here. You know, Gaudi, Shakespeare, Darwin, Einstein. A lot of good reasons. We can still try to get the drama. There's lots of reasons for that too. But we're going to try it. Let's see. It's a blue. Plays Frugality. Takes Frugality. Takes Alchemy. Takes Swordsman. And takes Urban Growth. Alright. And red reveals Development of Science. Develops and upgrades an iron. Takes Masonry. And upgrades another iron. Alright. It is our turn. So blue got that swordsman, which is good. Better than red getting it. Did he take it for 2? No, it was 1 for him. Alright, it's our turn. What do we want to do here? We could get this monarchy. We could... Let's see, finish this. Play that. Play that. Yeah, we could do that. I think we were interested in this printing press as well. So we can... what did we think we would do here? Yeah, we filled our hand up, which we were definitely concerned about. I don't really want to build an alchemy here, so I guess the only option is to play that, and we can build one. And then I guess do that. And we don't have a population, unfortunately. Oh, we built a religion, an accident, but you know, we'll fix that. Okay, so that's an option. So I think we are probably going to have to abort this printing press plan and try to get something else going. I don't think we can get the castle here. It's just we're not improving our science or resource production if we do that. Engineering Genius would be nice, but let's see. I think we can play an event. Call to Arms. I don't feel real good about being strongest. Lewis, Swordsman, red has Barbarossa. So I think we can put rats in here. We get a population. That's actually maybe helpful. And now there's lots of things I'd like to do on this turn. And I sort of immediately regret not grabbing the alchemy. So I've used a couple of several civil actions here, and I would love to be able to grab one of these wonders coming up. I'd like to get into iron. Engineering Genius would be good. And the printing press we were talking about is still here. So what options do we have? We can finish this wonder to help us grab one of these other wonders later, then I guess play Cultural Heritage and grab something. So Printing Press, Iron, Engineering Genius are all options here. Engineering Genius seems good. Another option, oh no, don't have the resources for that. So I like this because it gives us a chance to grab a wonder here. And then I don't know, let's double down on our printing press plan here. Doesn't seem good. Both dramas are here. I think it's likely we won't get one. I think I'm going to abandon printing press here. Get this lab that I didn't get last turn. I think play Cultural Heritage and take Iron and Engineering Genius. So it puts Monarchy on 1 for blue again, but I think that's fine here, and we'll build a warrior to get a little stronger. We actually can go ahead and play this, I think. No, I mean, yeah, I think we can probably play it here. We can play Call to Arms next turn if we want to play an event. And I think this is the best we can do here. All right, blue takes St. Pete's, builds a stage, plays Frugality, builds a warrior, takes Richland. Red builds an iron, elects Barbarossa, develops masonry, builds 2 warriors, and takes monarchy and drama. Alrighty. So we don't get the drama, as suspected. So we didn't get a drama or a printing press. So that's too bad. There's the other swordsman, which we didn't get earlier also. So what is this turn gonna look like? The Great Wall is here still. We could attempt to grab that. We build a stage and finish. And then what do we do? We can get monarchy, we can get iron, we can upgrade one and build a warrior. That's not a bad turn. So we could probably put Call to Arms in. We're in a pretty good spot. We'll have a civil action. You're strongest at the moment. So if we don't get Isabella, yeah, there's lots of options. We have irons. Isabella's a little less good. We have no territories in, so we don't need to worry about that. We're not getting the Great Wall or knights in this situation. So if we we're also exposing ourselves to rats a little bit if we do that, right? So we could build one of those. Improve our science a little bit. Develop monarchy. Increase pop. And could still build one of those or not. Blue's going to, I don't know, not finish that yet. Alchemy, I mean, they may get stronger. Build a swordsman. They won't be stronger though. I mean, yeah, red can just sort of build another one and play a tactic of some sort. So, yeah, that didn't really, I mean, it did something different, but it did not address the taking of a card that I might want up here. So we could develop monarchy and take the Great Wall. Not play an event, so we don't risk rats coming out on our turn. Play Called Arms then. We have corruption and we can't really get out of it though. So that's not real good. So I don't know if we can get Great Wall here. We can get knights instead. There's a lot of science. And we're building another swordsman when we have knights. That's a little weird, right? I can do that, but we don't have a tactic, which is a little weird. So we take knights, maybe just build one, build a lab. We don't have a population for the 2 remaining Age A events. So I think what I'll do here, yeah, finish Acropolis. I kind of like building another lab here. I get some science and I get monarchy for cheaper. And then take knights. So if they both play events, then maybe we won't play one, but then we can just increase pop next turn for the rats issue. And then we'll see how these go, but we can get into one or the other. Yeah, this seems good to me. Yeah, we can do a trade routes agreement next turn. So blue increases population, develops alchemy, upgrades, takes Columbus, and elects him, takes urban growth. And red revolts into monarchy, builds a warrior, plays a tactic. And yeah, okay. So no one played an event, right? So we can play one of these. We were worried that maybe rats would happen. And I didn't get audio for the rest, so I'll talk us through it here. So we're putting that cursor over Zizka on 3. So the Zizka is interesting, but getting the iron going is important here. Rats is in there, so we're going to try to prevent that. And I don't know what I was trying to say there. It was funny. I think I must be thinking about where Zizka's going to end up. He's going to stay on 3 if I do that. So that would sort of, I mean, it sort of doesn't matter because they both have age 1 leaders anyway. Yeah, we're thinking about what event to play here potentially, so Call to Arms and Crusades are questionable maybe because we might not be strongest, and Immigration because we don't have St. Pete's, potentially. So Crusades is sort of the least harmful to happen if you're not strongest, so we'll go with that. And then get the Iron going, Bread and Circuses, increase population because Rats is in. And then, let's see, yeah, we have Fighting Band, so that'll be good with Zizka. If we get a tactic for Knights, we can go with that. I didn't actually catch what tactics were in play and if we could copy one. We could build one. I guess because we have that resource from Homer, trying to use it could be interesting. So I'm probably toying with the idea of Swordsman, and we can use Swordsman to upgrade and use that resource, potentially. That is interesting, so we're leaving the food out there for Rats, which might not be a good idea, but we go with that. And Blue takes Warfare and develops it. Finishes St. Pete's. That's their turn. And then Red reveals Development of Politics. So we all get some cards. Finishes Stonehenge with 2 actions. Builds a warrior, Barbarossa. Develops and upgrades alchemy. Gets a card, and look at that. The age doesn't end. Isn't that exciting? And so let's skip politics for a sec. No, we can do Eleanor or Zizka. I think Jan's almost certainly the better choice here. I mean, Eleanor will let us, I guess, you know, we'd get a couple of CAs back if we switch her quickly in H2. Plus, she can help us find an H2 tactic. But I think Jan has to be the better choice here. Something like that, and then we can do something like that. And now our strongest. We have Crusades in here, and Red put 3 events in. You'd think, I mean, let's see, so Red had Ashoka for a while, right? And then got Barbarossa. So you may suspect they thought they'd be stronger, so they put strength events in. That would make sense, and this helps us be stronger. And if we suspect they might be strength, then we don't want to play an event now. And instead, we could offer a pact. So we have trade routes agreement. I don't think Red's gonna take that in either direction. Blue, we certainly don't want to let them use a food as a resource here. So if they could use a resource as a food, I mean, they already have a lot of food. They're sitting on a bunch of population. They don't have much resource production, so it doesn't seem like they would take that. Maybe Red would take open borders. Once I get to here, I mean, they can't really threaten me. They're not in a, I mean, I don't know. 6 warriors, what are you going to do? Just, I guess, upgrade them? I mean, that could be a little scary. So we could give it to blue. They can, I don't know. Maybe they'll be able to use it. They're going to upgrade swordsman or something. Yeah, I think I'm a little uncomfortable giving this to red. Since we're just, I think I'll offer it to blue and just see. If he does take it, it opens up the opportunity to do, I don't know, an aggression or something against blue. And I don't look that intimidating right here, so maybe he'll take it. Yeah, we'll see. All right, and blue accepts our pact. So that's nice. We'll get an extra card here. So, what were we gonna do? It's been about a day for me. But I know we're taking Enzitska. We're developing knights, increasing pop, building 2 of them, electing him, improving the Acropolis. And playing the tactic. So now we're strongest, so we hope that red put some bad events in there. We're set up for rats, set up for crusades. The only thing we're not good on is rebellion. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Blue's not, red's not. So no one really wants rebellion to come out at this point. But this looks like a pretty good turn. All right, so we can end our turn. We get to hold an extra card too, which is nice. Now, what do we want to get rid of? And I think we're not going to do this, probably. And Call to Arms, I guess, is a good one. So we'll get rid of those 2. Hey, there's Rebellion, so we don't have to worry about that. Blue takes Cartography, develops Swordsman, upgrades, takes Breakthrough, and adopts Legion. And then red takes Theology, develops it, builds 1, upgrades in Alchemy. Hey, we're still strongest. We have no aggressions to play, but we can play an event here. Crusades and Rats are both pretty good. Rebellion is not real great. It's also not in there. So, oh, we're holding it in our hand right now. Let's see, new deposits is probably fine. It's going to be a while till it comes out. It's good to know it's there. We don't need territories. Scientific Breakthrough is always fine also. Good Harvest is fine. Let's just put new deposits in, I think. A wealthy territory. And not getting it, I guess, is not the worst either. In this case, Ocean Liner, upgrade the iron, and we're still in a good spot. So let's just do 3, see what happens. And we win it for 3. So yeah, red did not want to break up their tactic, and blue could only do 3. Great. So we can just do that. Is that what we want to do? What's our turn? I mean, that's probably what we want to do. What's our turn look like here? We're going to take Ocean Liner. Yeah, we have some unhappiness that I did not really account for very well, I guess. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure we're just going to send that warrior. A knight would have to be rebuilt. We might be able to get by without rebuilding the warrior. So let's go ahead and do this. And then, I mean, is there some option where we don't take Ocean Liner? I'm in reds. Definitely going to take it if I don't. And I think I'd really like to have it. So we can't quite finish it yet. And we need to fix this. So I think we can just tear that bronze down. We just got a bunch of resources, so that's okay. And then what I might consider here, since we have the military actions and the resources, is doing that. So now we're stronger again. We still don't have to worry about rebellion, which is super nice. And next turn we can finish this, get a population, get bread and circuses the turn after that, something like that. And that seems very reasonable to me. I mean, or we don't go to a knight and we just stay not strongest, but I think I'd rather be stronger here. You know, we'll have to figure a transition out of this tactic later in the age, but I don't think we need to worry about that quite yet. Because we're getting a lot on these knights here. But I think it's worth it to be stronger. So we thought red put strength events in, but the first one ended up being this territory. Yeah, I think it's worth it. So, yeah, so we're strongest there, and I don't think anyone has a good chance of getting stronger. I guess riflemen could come out and could upgrade those. I kind of don't like getting set back on iron there a little bit. I still think Ocean Liner's worth it. If we pull this warrior down, then we're second strongest now. Blue very reasonably could get stronger though. Just upgrade 2 of these and research cartography and you're at 10. So then I'm weakest for red. You could also discover, I don't know, strategic territory with Columbus. But that's not ideal. And now I have 1 civil action left. And what could I do? I could take one of these, but I don't really like those. I could develop swordsman or bread and circus. I don't think I like those options. I think the 2 I choose from is upgrading iron, which is pretty good, or building a stage of Ocean Liner. So building a stage here lets me finish it next turn and have 2 actions left. So I could take a card, which might be helpful. I could develop bread and circuses and build one, and I wouldn't be able to build one. I wouldn't have enough resources. Well, no, I would. I would have 4 resources, so I could build a bread and circuses, although I don't really need to. I could build a knight to get a couple of strength to go back strongest again. I don't need 2 actions for that though, I only need 1. I could take a card from up here. I mean, something important, cannon might come out on 2 and I want to take it. I wouldn't be able to develop it. I mean, there's a cannon on 2, ironically enough, but the next one, I guess. And maybe being able to grab something for 2 is more important than having an extra iron upgraded for now. I think I want to take that risk. And I think I'm going to take this risk too. Instead of slowing down this economy, I'm just going to risk being weakest on red's turn. So there's a 50% chance that it won't be too bad, rats or crusades, and then there's a 50% chance that it might be something bad that red played. If we lose a yellow token, it's not the worst thing with Ocean Liner. So that's kind of okay. If we, lose a building, that's not great, but we can manage. So I think I'm going to go with this here and finish this turn finally. Oh, nice. Well, that'll be a good tactic to get into. So we can build at least another knight and know we can get into this. So here's cannon. So if we get it, it probably won't be at 2. It will be at 1. But, maybe we don't get it. Maybe we try to get something else. All right, cool. The blue increases population, builds a religion, and takes a cavalryman. And they do not get any stronger. And red reveals crusades. Okay, so one of them came out. Takes scientific method, develops upgrades, takes cannon. Alright, now it is our turn. So we could certainly play an event here. Suez Canal's in. We have 1, plus we're holding autonomous. So that might be a nice thing for us to look for. No events in at the moment. I'm sorry, no territories in. So we can finish and upgrade and bring in a worker. Can't build. So they left engineering genius for us. So we could certainly take that and play it to finish this wonder, but we could also take it assuming we want to get Suez Canal or a different one of these wonders, which are all pretty good. So that's the last cannon also. It might be worth getting it just in case. So we could look at finishing, increasing, building a knight, taking engineering genius and patriotism, or maybe not patriotism, cannon. We could take patriotism if we didn't build that knight now. And we could use the patriotism next turn. We are stronger this way. But it would be funny if this is the 1 strength event, and now that we're stronger, the 2 red's 2 events come out, and they're not strength events. Although as soon as he was stronger, he played an event. So you'd think they're strength events. And there are plenty of, basically all of them are still out there. It seems likely. So it could be worth investing here. We hold cannon for later, in case we need it. probably not Dark Ages. I mean, it could be, I suppose. And maybe he researches this to use up science that would have been taken from Dark Ages. That just seems unlikely. So given all of that, do we play an event or do we not play one because we want to be stronger? Maybe we don't play one because we want to be stronger. Instead of cannon, there's also reserves sitting right here. That would be nice to have too. And we just ride out this Hussar's tactic for a while. I mean, we don't need that tech. We have Janzitska for strength for a while. We can get this tactic again. We can transition into Hussars, which is pretty good here. We can get any of the H2 tactics with Swordsman, Phalanx, Classic Army. So without a use for cannon, I don't think I want to take it right now. Is there anything else we'd like to get? The Patriotism would be nice, but reserves is probably better. Darwin. I mean, we're not in a horrible spot for Darwin, honestly. We can take him, build him, play SARS, you know, and we're pretty strong again. He's giving us culture. He's letting us pull events or pull cards. Is there a different leader we want more? I mean, Cook could be nice depending on what happens. Oops. Nobel, Napoleon, Gaudi. There's lots of leaders we could take here. I don't think we need to do Darwin yet. He's not really doing enough for us here, I don't think. I mean, he's giving us civil actions. It's pretty good. And with Janzitska, we build a warrior and we get a third army. So we'd go to 14. With Darwin, we build another knight. And we'd go to 14 also. So it's really the same. So yeah, Jan's not really giving us much military advantage here. So yeah, from here, engineering genius and reserves, right? Yeah, and I think it's close with Darwin, whether we take him, because you could do something like this, you know, something like this, and get up to 10. And Darwin's giving a little more culture now, and stuff. I think, you know, maybe a problem here is he's letting us take cards, but we don't really have the science yet to keep up with that. So it's not going to be super helpful because we're not going to be able to take a bunch and research them. So I think Darwin's a little less useful here. Not sure who we want to get yet, but you also have to see sort of the order that they come out. Certainly there's useful ones there. So two options. We finish this, we take 2 cards, something like that. Other option, we research architecture, finish that, take engineering genius. I think I like getting architecture here. It's a good opportunity to do it. We'll have that for the rest of the game, and it will be useful. It'll help us with Suez Canal if we can get that, or whatever wonder we end up picking up. Suez Canal definitely the best because we have the engineering genius. So hopefully we can grab that. No one else is in a great position for it. Blue maybe, especially if they get stuff with cartography. But we have the the best territory for it, so hopefully we can grab that. And then we increase pop and do that. So now we're strongest also. We're set up good for hussars later on. We don't get reserves, those 3 resources, but presumably we'll save 3 along the way with architecture, plus some CAs, so that's probably worth it. Basically trading reserves for architecture. And do we need that 6 science for anything in particular? Probably not going to do a government. Justice system or strategy would be nice. We're not getting coal or selective breeding. Probably scientific method is important. Opera potentially if we see Bach at the same time. So, yeah, I guess you could make a case for saving some of that science since we're not producing very much. But it just seems like a good time to grab architecture. We don't need to research either of these yet, so we'll have time to let some of that science grow. So yeah, I think I'll get architecture here. I could probably go either way, but hopefully the investment pays off and we don't get too crunched with science in the short term. So I think we can end this turn, and I'm not going to put good harvest in. I want to keep these 3 for sure. Scientific breakthrough could happen. Historic territory. Maybe. So maybe we get rid of rebellion. We might be holding on to these for a little bit here. Developed territory. We have a lot of territories now. So what does that mean? Navigation's probably going to go away. If for some reason, miraculous reason, it doesn't go away, we could get it and look for cook, maybe. But we just use our science here, so that's... We don't really have enough science to afford both, so... We'll see. Blue plays breakthrough to develop cavalrymen, builds 1, takes cannon, and reserves, and builds a bronze. And plays phalanx. Red reveals rats, takes navigation, develops it, upgrades scientific method, takes rifleman for 2. So we're not strongest, we're not weakest. And Suez Canal did not come out yet, so we can't grab that. We might suspect there's a territory in here now. They played 1, just got navigation, there's 2 more in here. They have a lot of warriors they want to use up, so that makes sense. And I wonder if then they try to get cook also. And blue's looking good for Napoleon, maybe. Red also wants Bach here. Alright, so we could play an event. Try to get a territory. Probably... I mean... We probably can't put them in. I mean, Cook is sitting here. We could try to take Cook and put territories in and try to get them, but I don't think that's going to be a good idea. So what's our turn look like? We can get stronger. We can build this bread and circuses because of architecture, and then take some yellows. That seems promising. Probably don't want to reveal that yet. I don't think we need to. All the cannons are gone, unfortunately, but that's okay for us. I think Napoleon's not real great just for our tactic. We're definitely not set up for Shakespeare. This is good, and we'll keep an eye out for Suez. We might have some competition if Red starts getting a bunch of territories. What would we want to put in if we did? I mean, none of these really. I don't really want to put a territory in. National pride. It's going to be pretty close. I think it depends when Red starts getting some culture from Cook or Bach or something. I don't know. Blue has some work to do, I think. So we definitely need to worry about Red. Yeah. No bell would be nice, I think. Then we don't have any culture generation, so we'll have to get some culture somehow. So do we play something? What would be the point? We're not weakest. So we put something in there so we know it's coming. Scientific breakthrough could be okay, but it's going to come out pretty soon. That definitely favors Red. So I'm not real excited about doing that. National pride. Similar. National pride, we don't know when it will come out and can't feel real good about being ahead. And territories just feel bad right now because of his bonus. So I'm probably going to not play an event just so we can be strongest. You know, Red very likely could have just researched that to be stronger as much as for the colonization. So we'll skip politics, do all of that stuff we said, and then end the turn. Can definitely get rid of that. Probably can get rid of the spy. I mean, we want to have an event that we can play. National pride or scientific breakthrough seem pretty reasonable. So we can get rid of that aggression. Is there any reason we would? I mean, developed territory might come in handy with Suez depending on the situation. I mean, we're almost certainly going to do autonomous, but for what reason would we do developed extra yellow tokens? I guess it would be hard to justify that over autonomous here. So just either national pride or scientific breakthrough. So Red did play an event when they were weakest, right? They were at 10. No, yeah, right. Yeah, they were at 10. So, I mean, Red played the event. They were weakest. So it could be a very elaborate bluff. Maybe they have one strength and one not strength event in, and they just had odds were they wouldn't hit it. The only event that would really hurt me, I guess, would be Raiders or Barbarians. Barbarians, I mean, based on them playing it, it actually would have hit them, not me. So you'd think Barbarians wouldn't be in there, or they wouldn't have played that. Could be Pestilence, because whenever that comes out, it's going to hit red. So if I played it now, it'd be better than if I played it here. Because now I don't have population left over anymore. I just don't like my events very much. I don't really want to put a territory in right now. Scientific Breakthrough, I don't know when I'm going to get more science, and that event could come out pretty soon. National Pride, I think it's hard to tell if we're going to be ahead. There's not really a ton you can do to prepare for this. It's not like you know, decide to get some science out before you do it. I guess you can try to develop some culture, but it just is not really the easiest thing to prepare for. So I don't really like the events I have. I also don't want this to come out before I'm upgraded, the new deposits. So I don't think blue will play an event, but if they did, then new deposits could come out and cost me a couple of resources. So I think all of that to say, I suspect it's fine to play an event, but I think I'm going to not play one. And then it just comes back to like, which ones do we want to get rid of? Those two, is it Scientific Breakthrough or National Pride? And I think I get rid of National Pride. All right, Suez did not come out, which is probably good. The blue plays reserves, builds a cavalryman, builds a warrior. So they get that army twice, takes constitutional monarchy and Napoleon. A lot of units over there. Red reveals cultural influence, and then discovers and upgrades 3. Sort of expected that. Takes selective breeding for 3 and frugality. So there is one more selective breeding. And blue's not in a great position to take it away from us, and red has one, so we should be able to get that. Now, Suez Canal did show up. And Statue of Liberty and Harvard College. So we sort of wouldn't mind getting any of those, maybe with Statue of Liberty being the worst. So we could consider waiting to take it to next turn. But it seems likely something might fall off there. We want to play an event, so I think that's twice, right? That red has played an event when they're weakest. So they just gained 6 strength. So they were weakest. So you'd think we could play an event here. Again, we don't have a great event to play though. Don't quite have enough there. Right? Oh, it's the action we don't have. So we can't make that happen. So, I mean, if we thought we might get Harvard College, scientific breakthrough could make sense. Develop territory, I think, is still hard to do, so maybe we think about one of these pacts. I mean, Blue and I are pretty close. Does me getting that pact this turn help with anything? I don't think it does. Maybe we go for international trade agreement and give Blue a food. Although we have this open borders, so they might not take it. We could give Red a food. They're about to get selective breeding, so they may not want that though, but we could try it and see. And I wouldn't mind getting rid of this open borders now, actually. And giving us a food's not great. It'd be great later, but we're not gonna get enough to actually increase population. I mean, I guess we'd get enough. Yeah, it's not quite good enough yet. Let's see. So I think I'll offer international trade agreement to Blue. And give me the extra resource and they get the food. They might want the food. And if they don't take it, then I'll try, if the opportunity comes up again, I can try next turn and try to get the resource. Or sorry, the food instead. I mean, I could almost offer food now. The problem is that I would produce 1 or 2 food and then just have to sit on that for a while, dealing with corruption potentially. I think next turn offering it for food would be good. So I wouldn't have to build another agriculture. But I might have something else to do next turn. So we'll try this and we'll try to get the resource and just see what happens. And Blue rejects that pact. Okay. So we'll try it the other way around next time. And I think for this turn, we will... So we think there's no strength events in here, just based on Red's behavior. So I think we're going to take Suez Canal and upgrade our resources for new deposits and Suez Canal so we can get autonomous out. Maybe get some science from it. And we have wealthy, so the minus blue tokens won't be too bad. Is there anything else we want to consider here? Cook's not good enough. Nobel would be pretty great. Even Bach, if we can get this opera here, maybe. I think Red's maybe been waiting for Bach to show up. And getting Bowdy's not too bad here. So I don't think Cook is our answer. We don't need coal, we don't need team sports. Journalism. I guess would be good with Einstein, and that's really it. So journalism doesn't look good. Don't need that. We got the wonder we wanted. Scientific method would be good. It's the last one. Blue probably won't take it, so maybe it comes back around. Okay, so I think this is solid. Yeah, I don't want to... I think I still don't want to play this tactic. I mean, they're not going to do... I'm not too worried about aggressions here, and I just don't want to reveal it yet. I'm not going to do this war. I think this is not the game for scientific cooperation. Scientific breakthrough still might work, so we'll get rid of developed. Because I'm pretty sure we're going to want autonomous and not developed. Yep. Okay. Looks good. Wow. So we have our choices for the canal. To cook in satellites sure would have been nice. Okay, blue reveals pestilence. And revolts into constitutional monarchy, upgrades to a swordsman, and plays classic army. It's up to 20 strength. And red begins construction of Statue of Liberty. I think they had to destroy a warrior. Takes the bell, lets him finishes the Statue of Liberty. And it's our turn. So we actually have a population to lose for pestilence, which is nice. What do we want to do? We are weakest. We know new deposits is next. Do we need new deposits for anything? So we're going to be getting a warrior. I think we want to finish this. And probably get autonomous territory. It seems like the best thing to do here, and we probably want science. We're holding a lot of science, but that's probably what we want to do. Don't have enough to upgrade that. We did if we got new deposits, but if we got new deposits, we'll get one less resource. Actually, we get several less because now we're getting 2 more from the Suez Canal as well. We also don't want scientific breakthrough. We also don't want to put in the other territories. So I think we said we were going to try international trade agreement, right? So maybe we try that again with blue still. And what's our... We are going to be weaker here by 8. So we can still cover it, but are we going to want to try to get stronger? We can do cavalrymen. Or put this out finally. Or what? Don't have enough, but if we got resources or something we could. But I can't imagine we're going to actually do this. Could do that. But, you know, at that point, I guess you would just build 2 of these, right? That would make more sense. And maybe, yeah, we don't know what's in there. Red was sort of stronger, but not a ton stronger. So maybe we play the tactic at this point. Nice to play it after we get tanks, though. Just so people don't try to take those. So I think So we need to fix our science. We can do Harvard College or scientific method. I think I'm going to take scientific method and let's see. Let's just look one more time. We finish this and resources. I'm sorry, science is probably right. I mean, we're about to fix science and we're holding 2 science cards though, so I'm not sure. Then we can take scientific method. And I think I want to take cavalrymen. I know I have knights and I may not develop this, but it's some protection against blue doing something aggressive. They get up to, I don't know, 30-ish, the right sort of stuff, and do a war. If I don't have cavalrymen, I can get 247 more with hussars. And it's 21, so it's not quite enough. With cavalrymen, I can get, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4 for just upgrading these, plus, well, let's put it in. So I'm at 16, so I get 4 plus 2 more for the tactic, and I could build cavalrymen also, which would be helpful. And then I can build one of these and maybe play Revolutionary Idea. Could also take Opera or Republic. So anyway, something like this, I think, is what I'm looking at. We can't upgrade this for new deposits because we don't have enough, and we don't really want to take resources from Suez because we're about to get a bunch, and our resource production is pretty good. Well, that to say, it would be nice if we could get 1 more food, because we're going to have to build another one of these soon. So I'm thinking we can do international trade agreement. With blue again, but swap it. So maybe blue will accept it. We could offer it to red, but red doesn't need the resources. I also they don't really need the food either. I am giving blue a resource right before new deposits comes out, which is a little bit interesting. And I guess I'm getting the food 1 round too early also, because I'm going to have 1 extra. But it might still come in handy, just having that 1 food, letting it tick off later. So let's give it a shot and see if he can reject this pact multiple times. All right, and blue accepts the pact, so that's great. Okay, now we lose that idle worker, and we're going to finish the canal and take autonomous and gain some science. And then we're going to take scientific method and cavalrymen just to defend in case someone gets a little frisky with their aggressions. We can't upgrade this, but we have 2 actions. We're gonna build this bread and circuses, I believe. And then the question is, what do we do on our last action here? And the choices are, well, play Hussars. We can probably do. Yeah, did we decide that we need to do that? Because, yeah, we're going to go down 4 strength if we don't do it. So, yeah, we need to do that. And so, yeah, questions. Sabak is coming. They all have H2 leaders, so we don't need to worry about that. So we could grab this opera down here if it makes sense versus taking this one. And Marlena's in the game. So we could take this opera. To get that action out of the way. Maybe there's something else we want to do next turn. Our hand's full. I think I'd rather play Revolutionary Idea. I don't think we want Republic here. And it's kind of interesting. It's so it's pretty cheap. What does it look like if we do it? We're going to lose a military action, so we go down to 3, but we have 6 to 8 civil actions for 6 science. I mean, maybe that's worth it. And then we can take this and play Revolutionary Idea. I mean, we're about to fix our science here. I mean, we're going to get 2 of them upgraded, so we'll have a lot of science. We kind of already have a lot. And it's just so cheap. Is 3 military actions enough here? Maybe it's not. Strategy is still on its way, though. And I mean, really, we could just wait it out for an H3 government probably here. So we just take these 2. I think that's probably fine. 4 military actions could be helpful if someone gets aggressive here. I have to make sure to play this tactic. It's tempting though, but I think I'm gonna pass. Okay, so I think we're good. We don't have a way to use a military action really. And I guess we do, sort of. And we don't have resources though, so yeah, it should be. So this is good. And play the tactic. And yeah, I think this is good. It's a blue reveals new deposits, which is nice. Takes selective breeding. Develops it, upgrades twice, takes opera and coal. Still holds Napoleon. I wonder why not elect him. Red reveals freedom of movement. Upgrades warriors, develops selective breeding, takes justice system, develops it, upgrades, and develops drama before they lose it. Hoping for that Marlena to come out. We lose Jiska, discard swordsman, and a card. We are weakest. So in the previous deck, red was playing events when weakest. But now we're in a new deck, and they played an event when they were not strongest, but also not weakest. So that means it could be, I mean, Cold War, or really politics of strength, refugees, international agreement, international negotiations. If you think you're about to be stronger, though, you might hold off if one of those is in there. But they did play an event, but it's probably not enough information to make a good decision on. And what are we going to do with freedom of movement? Probably go from bronze to iron. I'm not sure there's much else we can do here yet. All right, now we have a lot of science. Should we grab Gaudi for 3? Probably not. Should we get strategy since it's sitting right there? Maybe. Scientific method. Bring in a population. Guess we could build a knight to be strongest, and now that is more reason to not play an event. Ravages of Time would be a nice event to get in there, but we can play it next turn still and get it in the next deck. And now we could grab that opera and then Bach. And Marlena and Chaplin are in. So that could be pretty nice. So we're leaving a lot of yellow cards here. What did we do instead? We got strategy, which is nice. We got scientific method going, which is nice. And that's really it. Took an opera. So we're good on science now. We're pretty good on resources now. So I think we're okay not taking those. And we'll try to get back next turn, and maybe we can keep him around for a little while. Did we already see Iconoclasm? No, we didn't. Maybe it'll come out. Oh, interesting. Yeah. So blue's not electing him because they put Iconoclasm in. They wanted to come out here in the third age before they elect him. That seems right. Did blue play an event? I don't think so. Come on, why does it do that sometimes? They did, yeah, new deposits. So I bet that, so blue's probably going to play an event again, and if red if there is some strength event, that's good for us. Other than that, I think I like this turn. So I think we can end it. And what do we get rid of? These territories, potentially. I don't think we're going to get into this tactic. We'd have to, like, it's not better, right? There's no way for this to be better. Like, we would be getting a modern infantry. And so for a modern, yeah, I don't even, like, there's no way, right? So I think we can get rid of that one. And then end our turn. Effective colonies is not too bad. And so blue elects Napoleon. Increases population, builds a swordsman, takes air forces, which just popped out. and takes urban growth. And red takes tanks. That's scary. Develops it, builds one, takes efficient upgrade. So, okay. What is red looking at there? I'd get into classic army, I suppose. Blue has air forces. Can't quite get it yet, but that's a little scary too. So red has a few events in there. They did just work pretty hard to get stronger. So maybe we don't want to play an event. Ravages of Time would be pretty great though. But all of the bad events are in, so it's probably not worth it. Promise of military protection. What do we do? Make red stronger. Probably not going to happen here. So we have all of these leaders. 5 in a row. What do we want to do about that? So we could get into Bach right now. Iconoclasm's still in. So blue, we suspected. They didn't play an event though, so that iconoclasm theory may have gone out the window because I just elected him. So I think we do something like this, right? And then what? Yeah, we also need that other tanks. Blue art is cavalrymen, so it would be quite a hate pick to take it. And I'm before them, so it's likely we can grab it. We're keeping ourselves weakest here, so building one more of these would be good. So how would we do that? That's one way. We also have... That's not gonna work. This. Or we could... Still not strong enough though, probably. What about that? So we lose the science, but start getting some culture. And for leaders, then we're not going to get Marlena here, but we can do Einstein or Pierre. No one else wants Pierre, so we're in a good spot to get him. I think the things that I don't like about this are a couple of things. I'm a little bit nervous about a military threat, really on both sides. And if I have Bach with the hope that I get to Pierre, as an example, then I kind of want to leave people on this bread and circuses. Or upgrade to professional sports or something. That means that in order to take advantage of Bach, I'm building more operas, which means the population coming off of ocean liners going into opera. And That's not ideal. And yeah, so what I can do is skip back, transfer, like upgrade these over to operas, and then have Marlena. So like next turn I can move one more of these over, the bread and circus over to the opera, and I should be fine on happy faces. And then the next turn I can move one over and elect Marlena and have my 3 operas. I'll have enough happy faces. And she provides me some military benefit. Hopefully I can get to tanks. And then I just need one less unit there to double my tactic, and that will be helpful. So one problem here, we only have one action. What do we do with it? Not much we can do. So potentially we could do this much and kind of stop. I mean, I guess we could even go one farther back. But now what do we do? Can't do much. Heard that? Or just develop the opera. I think we just do that. So I think I'm gonna go with this. And we need to get rid of 3 cards. I'm still probably not gonna play these territories. It's just if Satellites comes out, and yeah. Arms Industry doesn't look too awfully good. Ravage of the Time looks great if we actually get to play it. Impact of Colonies is okay. Impact of Variety, maybe okay. So I guess we get rid of these 3. Sure, it'd be nice to win the vast territory with our tokens here. We're gonna need to get a mechanized ag here at some point too. Almost certainly. But even if we put it in, I mean, it could still make it out. Yeah, I mean, it could. If we find a satellite and we have a bunch of cards, which we have a good number now, and bidding with Marlena with this tactic is actually quite nice. So maybe we keep the vast and get rid of variety, I suppose. Yeah, we get rid of variety. Oh no. The Air Forces came out. That's bad news. So we're gonna have to be really careful. Maybe we can get this Manhattan Project. Yeah, we're gonna have to be really careful. We got this tactic, which is good. If we can get a rockets, that would be really nice. All right, well, we'll see. And then blue increases population, builds a cavalry, builds religion, takes Manhattan Project and military theory. Oh boy. Red increases population, builds a tanks, takes air forces, builds fast food chains, copies classic army. We're in a little bit of trouble here. So both air forces are gone. We have strategy. We could get military theory, but it's a bit expensive for us now. So we are the target. We need to, I don't know, do what we can to become less of a good target. So, what do we think those events are? Do we have anything good to play? I guess Ravages of Time would still be really good. We don't really want to put the vast territory, and Satellites is here, but I don't think we can focus on that right now. Red got fast food chains also. So we could try offering a pact to somebody. Oh boy. I mean, I don't know who's going to accept it because they probably both are going to want to attack me. I mean, it doesn't hurt them though. It just, because the pact will go away if they attack me anyway. I'm not sure really who's in a stronger, probably red. So what does our turn look like? I think what I like here, I definitely want to upgrade that. Can't do it this way. So I have to do it this way this time. Next turn I can do that. Actually, I won't be able to because I'll be emptying that yellow bank too. So we'll have to see what that looks like next time. And then, sorry, I got distracted by the yellow population here. Okay. Then I think we probably want to be stronger. I mean, we don't know what these are. No one's played an event in a little while. And this at least makes us stronger for blue's turn. Then we'll see what everybody does. Then I kind of like the civil service here. I like the look of 8 CAs here over 6 as we try to grab yellows that are going to be important for keeping our strength up. We try to get a government that comes out, mechanized ag that comes out, tanks that comes out. We just the actions are going to be helpful. We could try to get into cavalrymen now, but I just don't like using this science sort of before we need to. And I like that we're getting these yellows. These are the two that can be put towards military. So we're taking them away from everybody else and getting them for ourselves. So there are yellows for them too, but not yellows that are quite as helpful. Red has an efficient. Red has 1 place for an efficient upgrade now. And blue has none, really. So it's not all that helpful for them. And with the extra CAs, we can use these pretty well. We're leaving computers here. So, you know, maybe blue can get into computers here. Helps with Manhattan Project. Helps fix their science a little bit. It slows down their military push a little bit, which could be good for us. And red could use computers. I mean, they already have scientific method, but either one of them could look for Einstein with computers. And that could be a little scary, especially space flight in the game. But I don't think there's a situation here where we take computers. So I think this is pretty good. mean, if we wanted computers, it would be instead of something. We could get into it next turn, upgrade a couple. But that doesn't feel right here. Yeah, so I'm pretty good with this. We're not playing an event, and I think we're fine with that at this point. So we have to get rid of 3. So we can get rid of this vast. Well, I mean, satellites might stick around to where we can get it. I mean, we're probably not going to play this regardless. Ravages of Time would still be really good to play. Impact of Colonies is still fine. We might get into that. So vast we can let go, I think. And then the last things are, what else do we want to get rid of? It's a tough choice. I think the war is pretty easy to decide to get rid of. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get rid of Ravages. I just think it's gonna be hard to play this event in time for it to happen. And this just leaves some military option open. Sad to see it go, but I think that's what we need to do here. Interesting. That's a pretty good tactic for us, actually, if we can't get tanks. The blue takes Revolutionary Idea, develops air forces, destroys a mine, Bronzen builds one. Takes efficient upgrade. Does not do a war. Red takes computers, efficient upgrade. And takes democracy and modern infantry. Upgraded 1 computer there. No one played an event. Why didn't they do that? Okay. So it's our turn again. So blue could not, I don't know what they could do. They can't really get too much stronger with just 7 resources, and they can't finish the wonder. Red still just has 3 military actions, so they can't do too much. Why is no one playing events? No one is the weakest. Red wasn't strongest, so maybe they didn't want to play an event because they weren't strongest? I don't know. Now I don't, at least I don't have, I got rid of Ravages of Time, so I don't have to worry about playing an event. So let's skip here. So now if we do this, we're gonna have a slight happiness problem. There's no tanks. Rockets came out though. Fundamentalism we could take. Let's see, so can we defend 15? Can once, 12, 13, 14, 15, but then can we defend 9 after that? We can actually. Maybe if we have enough cards. So 12, 40, we get rid of 5. 1, 2, 3. And then we would need 5 more cards. I don't think we'll have enough cards to do it unless we get another defense card. So we sort of need to get stronger here. Do we just go for that? Take a revolutionary idea. So since we're not producing much science. Mechanized ag didn't come out. We can develop this, satellites, to be a little stronger. Maybe someone will play an event and reveal a colony now? We actually could build an opera now and upgrade one next turn. So that's going to be pretty hard, right, to do a war on us. Like, they just can't get either enough military actions or strong enough fast enough. Making a lot of culture now. We look for mechanized ag one more turn. We have resources. We didn't get these. Maybe we can get one of those. If we don't do the satellites thing, we can. We can build another opera. We can upgrade the next one next turn and elect Marlena. And then we can take, I guess we could take satellites. And one of these, I guess, reserves at this point because we have a lot of military actions. That seems pretty solid. We are weakest, but that's probably fine here. Not a whole lot we can do about it other than, I don't know, not much. No one's playing events though for some reason. I'm not totally sure why. Fear of iconoclasm, terrorism, they want the least culture. Really just not sure why, but I mean, even worst case here is probably not that big of a deal. So I think we can go with this. And we get to hold a lot of cards. We have to discard one thing. And I mean, I don't suspect at this point we're going to need these two tactics, but we may. Impact of competition. We get a bunch of tanks upgraded, that could actually be really good. Impact of colonies is the same, so it could be good. Here's the rockets that we're not taking. I guess should we try to do that? Still seems mostly like there's not a huge threat here. There's a patriotism and 2 reserves left. There's military buildup. There's no engineering genius, so I don't think there's a super big risk of military from blue. Red still has to finish fast food chains. They could get air forces, but they have a happiness problem. They'd have to disband a bunch of stuff, and they don't have military actions. All the military theories are gone. And then I'm going to say that this pact probably has run its course. I don't think we're going to get that to happen this late in the game. It could be, they're close enough to each other that giving one of them an extra 2 culture could be worth it. And I guess if one of them's going to do war, they may want to make me stronger and get a culture. I don't know, it's close, but I already have a pact and I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to get this out. I also don't think I need to worry about it quite as much. I think I'm in a reasonable position to defend anything that they can do. And I don't think they can really do much here. Red's not producing much, needs to focus on the wonder. Really can't get the population or the military actions. They could do an old war, they could do an H2 war with an air force, and they could get 51. I lose all like a bunch of my yellow tokens or something, but even then I can, what can I get to? I think I actually can get to 51 anyway, just by upgrading with cavalrymen. And I have satellites, so that, and I have Marlena, so I really don't need to worry about it. So I think it's fine. So there's the mechanized ag. Tanks did not come out, which is probably a good thing, because red already has it. So maybe we can get the tanks. I also have modern infantry for shock troops. I already have that too, and that didn't come out. So both of those are good things, and the mechanized ag being this far down is pretty good as well. So blue reveals international negotiations, which is not great for us. Looks like he took science, I think, maybe. And then played revolutionary idea, takes Einstein, Alexin, takes computers, develops it, upgrades, increases top, builds a swordsman. It's up to 39. Then red reveals economic progress. Good for resources, but we got hit with the culture, which we suspected. Red develops democracy, increases population, builds a theology, upgrades to computers, takes professional sports and patriotism. Alright, so we are going to get the wonder, which we wanted. We are weakest, so we probably don't want an event here. Maybe it's time for that military alliance, but let's see what the turn might look like. So if we upgrade this last one, it weakens us a little. Marlena strengthens us again. So I think this is a good move. It gets us... we need to get Marlena in, or we'll lose Bach probably. So this gets us 4 extra culture to do this. So it's almost certainly worth it. Then we need to get space flight. And after this, I think, well, and we increase pop. After this, I think there are some questions about what to do. So red will not get Pierre. So Mandela is the only leader left. I still think we don't really need to worry about military. Well, since it is the last turn, we don't know if we're going to get tanks. We probably need to get cavalrymen out. And then what? We can build one of those, but when the age ends next turn, we're going to need another one or mechanized ag. We're actually probably going to need 2 more, but we could just play the reserves for that. And then here we could take reserves. So we're going to go down to 5 cards here. So it seems like we're going to get another age, or another turn. Another turn here. So that means we're going to have two more productions of food we'll have to deal with. One of them without the pact, so we'll be at -1. And next turn, we're going to take this last pop, we'll be at -3. So developing this doesn't really help much. So we can play reserves for food, and we'll be at 3, and then we'll be at -4 next turn. Which is bad. There is another mechanized agriculture in here though, so we don't necessarily need this one. We can take the next one. Because I don't think anyone else is going to take it unless they try to take it away from me, and that might be hard for them, and we can just use reserves to deal with that then. So here we can use our reserves for food and then take the other reserves potentially. The other option is we keep, oops, no, we do that still. We keep the reserves, we build one, we take another reserves. And now we'll be -2 next turn, but hopefully we can get Mechanized Ag out, upgrade, and use these population for something else. Is there anything else we want here? I guess we're going to be stronger. So we can do that. And we have a lot of resources now. 19 plus 16, 35 resources. -6, 19 resources to use for stuff. We have the military actions to spare. So I think this is good. If we tried to do military alliance, then I guess we wouldn't have to upgrade as many of these. But we would lose the pact, which means we'd have to play our reserves or something instead of building this agriculture. We don't have to worry about economic progress again, in case, because we're going to be like -2 food. Well, when the age ends, no, we'll still be -1, but once we, yeah. So anyway, I think that's fine. We are going to be -3 next time, though. Yeah, so we'll be -3, but Mechanized Ag is good, or we can just play reserves and we can always pull this population back off. But this lets us keep these reserves around for resources if we need to, instead of having to use it on food. And we don't know what either of those impacts are, but I don't think impact of science is not a good one for us. Impact of tech, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. It's not the best, it's not the worst. Impact of population would be probably fine for us. Harmony is good. Balance is not good yet, but Mechanized Ag should fix that, assuming no one takes it away. I mean, if someone does take it away, we're just going to play reserves for food, and then we have impact of agriculture, but impact of balance would suffer a little bit. Not that much, though. I mean, it would be like 6. But I suspect that we'll be able to get impact of agriculture. I'm sorry, mechanized agriculture. The only, what can we, let's go back to here. Well, let's look at the log. Is there anything we can do to get it now? We could not upgrade this, but that's worth a lot of culture. I think we should do it. The cost to balance is, we're going to get 3 rounds on this, so it's 4, 16, I'm sorry, 12 culture for that, and balance is, yeah, balance would be, a balance isn't hurt by that actually, so it's actually not as much as I thought. It's not hurt by not exceeding consumption, that's only agriculture, so it's not even as bad as I thought. We need to get that cavalryman out just to protect ourselves from military in case we don't get tanks. If that rockets sticks around, we could still try to do something with this. I think it wasn't the best, but not the worst either. And the most I think they can get to is still about 50. So I think next turn will be the last turn that red has to do a war, and they don't have enough military actions to do anything with it. They could build one thing, with patriotisms. They could get 1 Air Forces out, which would give them 13 more, which takes them to 51. And they're going to lose Nobel, so they would lose 2 strength from that. So they get to 49. Blue has a little more options. They'll have 9 this turn and 13 the turn after. So they could build... they can develop military theory to get to 44. Then build an Air Forces. No, they'd build a cavalryman and they'd get 11 more. So you get to 55 if they did the war next turn. It's a little risky though, because if tanks comes out, I can definitely defend. And I have so many resources, I could do the wonder and all that military anyway. Or if they don't do the war next turn, they'll have 13 plus 4 is 17. And maybe this military buildup, if it comes out. But it'd be 13, 17. If they can finish this for 14, and they have 17, I said. They get 13 more, it's 52. Or with 17, you could definitely build one of these. So you get a cavalryman, so you get 11, plus the Air Forces is 13. So you get 24 plus 5 is 29. So they could get to 58, right? No, 68. Yeah, 29 would be 68. And that's pretty bad, actually. What can we get to if we got tanks? Let me check real quick. But I think this is the best we can do. I mean, we could try to end the age, or guarantee that we end it. Maybe we could get oil and mechanized agriculture. But then if blue doesn't need to take anything to get that war off. So there's some incentive for them to not end the age anyway. And you know, if we needed to, we could pull population from elsewhere and get our strength even higher. I think it's a risky proposition to try to do a war. And if so what we'd be hoping for here is that when we end the turn, tanks is not one of the 3 cards that comes out. So there's a reasonable chance of that. Otherwise, it would make a lot of sense for blue to take tanks away. And then we could still get modern infantry for shock troops. Modern infantry is 10. We'll have 7, 13. And what can we get to as shock troops? Let's see real quick. Yeah, I think we could get out of it with shock troops also. We could definitely get 2 shock troops. We could even probably get a 3rd one if we really had to, but then we would not be able to finish the wonder. Yeah, we can get up to, I don't know, 62 plus, something like that, or even maybe even up to 80 if we really wanted to with shock troops. So we can get tanks or modern infantry to here. Red has both of those already, so there's a really good chance we'll get one of the 2. So he really can't take both away. And just warring into this situation is really scary, I think, for him. So it seems likely we could be more conservative and not take space flight and get mechanized ag going instead. But I don't think that's what we want to do here. Do we have enough military actions? We have 2 turns of military actions to upgrade things, and we have a lot. But we would need like 1 or 2 for the modern infantry, and then 3 here, 5. Yeah, I mean definitely. We could even get the 3rd one with these. So I think we're okay there. I think we can go with this and just see what happens and not get a different pact right now. I don't want to mess with getting mechanized ag right now. If we wanted to take Mechanized Ag in hand right now, we'd have to not upgrade this, and we'd have to not take this reserves. I think that's not worth it here. So let's go with this. I think it's pretty good. 3 cards. So we're going to lose, well, we might not lose it before a colony comes out. This is not the tactic that we're going to use. We are going to use shock troops. Impact of competition might still be good. Impact of agriculture actually still might be good. You know, in theory, we could do a war still too. We could do an armed intervention as well. So let's get rid of this colonization card. And then one more. Yeah, I think there's just no way we're going to do a war. I mean, I guess if we have to defend a big war or something, maybe we can do an armed intervention the last turn or something, potentially. Did I just click that? I thought I did. So we don't want to play an event. We don't want to play the pact. We might still next turn, potentially. Let's try it again. There we go. Worked that time. No tanks, ideally, here. Okay, that's good. Modern infantry is less obviously good for me, so I would think blue's less likely to take that. We're not going to get into that. Impact of architecture, interesting. And maybe peace treaty. And blue reveals refugees. And develops military theory. Increases population, takes reserves, builds a temple, stage of Montana. And red and blue have a pact. Red takes endowment for the arts and oil. Develops oil. Twice. Upgrades. Upgrades it twice. And now it's our turn. Yeah, so our food pact goes away. Alright, so we have one more turn after this. This is the 18th turn. I call them rounds here. Wonder why. Anyway, what kind of choices do we have here? Probably cannot do an aggression against red. That seems like not the right move. Effective architecture could be fine. What are we going to do on this turn? We're going to increase our population. We've used them all. It's exciting. We have no impacts and we're up by a little bit. How much does that international tourism? 1 for red and 2 for blue. Okay, what are we gonna do? What are things we need to do? So this food situation, there's that. That's pretty good. Now so blue can still pull a war off here, right? So they have 10 resources. They can finish that. They get to 56. Or with 10 resources, you can get 11 more. So this is a better deal. And there's nothing that gives them resources. So we don't have to worry about that. Unless they, yeah, I don't know, plunder red or something. So we don't have to worry about a war past 56, but I think we can get to 56 really easily. That's not what I meant to play. What just happened? Oh yeah, I mean, next turn I'd have enough, but let's just pretend like we didn't do mechanized agriculture. We could do iron infantry. And I mean, yeah, just easily upgrade a couple more things. If we just really... One more. Hey, do one more. Why won't I do it? 57. Yeah, so there's really no threat. What happens if we do tanks? I didn't see what we at. So we're at 3 resources with tanks. Or do it. Come on. Uh, 6 resources here. This is a little bit better. Might be hard to get one more if we needed to get even stronger. I guess with tanks we could do the tactic more times. So sort of like our max. Oops, not like that. Let's just try this one. We're gonna get to 62. And I mean, we could actually get the tactic one more time. Not with this many military actions, but we could get it another time. Just getting a few more knights. That would be 1, 4, 15 more. 77. I don't have any wars. I should have a war. They all have their forces too. But anyway, so we don't have to worry about. I mean, we just could take one or the other. Out of resources. I guess maybe we take the one that other people don't need. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Oops. Okay, so what else besides that are we going to do this turn? I think we're going to fix the food. Take one of these two. Well, how about we do that? Is military buildup interesting? We don't really have another action to use though, if we want to fix the food. If we don't fix the food, we can do that. Then do that. I don't know. It's all kind of about the same here. Alright, so we have a couple of good plays here. Architecture looks pretty good for us now. I think we could actually make agriculture really good too. We have the potential to do that, and we have competition as well. And there's professional sports, which would really be good for architecture and competition. So I think we could try to make a play for that. We could, I think, build 2 professional sports and still finish the wonder, which would, you know, bump this up by 6 more and this by 6 more. So I might lose actually impact of competition to red potentially. They have a lot of units and things. But we may not. And if that doesn't look good, we can do impact of agriculture instead. So that being said, I think we can put impact of architecture in now. I think the only downside would be crime wave. Politics of strength, I suppose, those 2. Iconoclasm actually would be kind of terrible. Yeah, that actually would be bad. So we lose 4 happy faces. And so we would need professional sports to fix that. And we wouldn't be able to fix our food this turn. So that's maybe enough of a reason for me to not want to do it. Because what would the turn look like if we didn't fix food? We'd have to do something like that. And play reserves for food. Yeah. I just don't, I mean, it doesn't seem super likely, but I just don't want to risk it. I don't think it's worth it, right? I mean, we're going to be up by 30 for impacts. And I think this is what I want to do. Turn, upgrade that. Take tanks. Build another opera. Play patriotism. Take professional sports. Upgrade choice. And this is pretty good. I don't want to mess it up with an iconoclasm here. That would definitely be worst case. And so we will just get 1 impact in, whatever is best next turn. I don't think there's a lot of impacts that are bad for us. Industries, fine. Progress is fine. Wonders is fine. Oops. Yep, progress is fine. Wonders is good. Population's good. Government's good. Strength is good. Happiness good. Science, not good. Technology, good. Balance, good. Harmony, good. Culture, good. So science is really the only bad one. And maybe strength if we don't keep our strength up, but I think we're in a pretty good spot to get stronger. Someone's gonna have to invest pretty hard to be stronger, I think. Yeah, I just don't, I don't think it's worth it. One of these is an event from Red. Red didn't play an event. And so Red did not, potentially, right? Red didn't want Iconoclasm to come out during H3. They wanted it to come out during H4. It also makes sense that red would seed Iconoclasm with Nobel, potentially. Because you don't want to give others the Nobel Prize, potentially. And so, yep, not worth it. Not going to do it. I don't think there's any way we can lose this. We're going to have 90, so we're up by 30 on each, basically, this turn, plus 40 something next turn. And there's just no way. There's no way impacts are going to do anything about that here. So we can end the turn. Get rid of 3 cards. Well, we're definitely not going to play this tactic. And we're not going to play that one either. We're not going to play Impact of Colonies. Okay. Yeah, interesting if Iconoclasm comes out and then Civil Unrest or Emigration. That'll be a little bit more interesting. Because I believe we'll have 6 happy faces, so Civil Unrest would lose us 8 culture. But I still don't think that matters. So blue plays Reserves, finishes Manhattan Project, takes Democracy, military buildup. And now we're in the last turns. So red reveals Crime Wave, which we are one of the weakest. Takes Mandela, Blexen, plays Endowment for the Arts, for some culture, 6. Plays Patriotism, Modern Infantry, increases population twice. Builds a Rifleman. Do you just build a Rifleman and then upgrade? Finish Fast Foods, disbands a unit. Interesting. Yeah, he built one that upgraded, but whatever. Doesn't really matter at this point. Okay, so how do things look? We are at 109. But we want to finish this wonder. There is an event in here. We're not weakest. And politics of, I mean, doesn't, yeah. So I don't think there's anything too bad in here. Iconoclasm still would be strange. Terrorism, sort of interesting because it wouldn't resolve until their turn. So we probably want to make sure we have happy faces if that were the case. Competition, no. Agriculture, so it's almost certainly going to be architecture. So let's see what the turn looks like. We have no population to make, unfortunately. What is this? Space flight. So I think we're going to put professional sports out, I think. I mean, we don't know if progress is in or not. So doing satellites is not as good as architecture will be. We could pull from either place, I think. Let's try these. Hey, that works. So we're at 134. So like 35 ahead of red and more ahead of blue. I don't think there's impacts that can make up the difference. There's 4 impacts in here though. We probably already went through these, didn't we? In a previous turn. And architecture gives us quite a bit. So we want to play that, I think. Yeah. So let's get that in there and hope for the best here. Okay, that's non-eventful. There's too much else really we can do here. Oh, we're at 137 now, thanks to that event. I think that's the best we can do, especially since we put the event in already. We could have upgraded these and given ourselves 4 more, 8 more for this, 19. But I think we're getting that much from the other one. We're getting more than that. Competitions, there's no way to make that better. We can defend, so there's no issues there. I think we're good to go here. There is, I guess, impact of science. Impact of culture and happiness are fine. Strength, we'd get second, so not a big concern. Okay. So blue does a aggression against red. Gets 8 resources. Increases population, develops democracy with Einstein. Builds a temple, upgrades to computers. So impact of science, we thought that would happen, and that gets blue a little closer. Impact of strength gets blue ahead. Impact of architecture is good for us. And I think, oh no, I guess that was pretty even. Impact of industry gets red a little closer. Oh boy, down to the last one. Population. It's good for us, good for blue, not so good for red. All right, we won. Nice work. Yeah, this was a good game. Yeah, so I think is good. We got the ocean liner, I think, super early in age 2. And we had Acropolis first, and then ocean liner super early in age 2, and then we got Suez a little later into autonomous territory. We actually took, so it was a little scary in the mid game because blue and red both got air forces, and so I was a little worried. And I started, I think, pretty early in age 3, starting to sort of prepare for the military side of things. We just had Hussars for a while. It looked like we might be able to do a different tactic for a minute, but so that led us to take Bach and Merlina at the same time. I just took them both in the same turn. And I think with Bach, we upgraded some of these, well, we might have done a computers to an opera, and then a couple of the bread and circuses to operas over time, and then fundamentalism with Acropolis helped us get some strength, which was really nice. And then eventually we switched over back to Marlena after we had upgraded all the arenas. With a Cropless Fish had 5 operas with Marlena, which was really great. We were like just treading the line barely with food for a while. We had the pact with Blue to help with food production. Then we got into that last mechanized ag just to fix that problem. So that was really great. We got these arenas at the end. Just, I don't know. It was impact of architecture, but we had them, I guess, yeah. I don't know. They were helpful, but they would have helped if Iconoclasm came out. So overall, it was a pretty solid game. So I'm happy with that. Hopefully we can check the results of the championship so far, and then we'll see you in the next match. Thank you. So in Group 5, there are 3 of 10 games finished so far, and we have won 1 game, this game. So we have 5 points. We're tied with BlixLT, who has 5 points and has finished 3 games, and Tecusto, who has finished 1 game and has 5 points. So we're just in the beginning, and we'll see how the rest of the matches come out. So I'm excited to get into the rest of the games. We'll see you there. Thank you for watching, and catch you next time.